In 2024, a drone pilot in Texas made $427,000 in the year, working just 3 days a week. Meanwhile, thousands of other drone pilots across the United States are struggling to book even $500 jobs. So what's the difference? In today's video, I'll be showing you the exact blueprint to follow in 2025's drone gold rush. Plus, stay till the end. I'll show you an example of a business that made a devastating mistake that led to them having to shut down their business in just 60 days. This isn't just another drone video. This is your wake-up call to the biggest drone opportunity in 2025. But here's the thing. This opportunity won't last forever. In fact, at the 12-minute mark, I'll be sharing why the next 6 months are critical for anyone who's wanting to build a drone empire. And before we get rolling, please like and subscribe because I need all the friends I can get. Step one is the niches that print money. Let's get something straight. Trying to be everybody's drone pilot is the fastest way to fail in 2025. Here are the 4 niches that are exploding right now. Number 1 is construction monitoring. Construction monitoring is an amazing service to be providing for a couple reasons. First of all, it provides huge value to your client. When you are providing these construction monitoring services, it can help the overall contractor, the business owner, whoever's in charge of the construction, to communicate with their subcontractors, to see if they're on target, look for safety issues, to look for things that are being stolen if they're looking from before and afters. And they can all be doing this remotely because they'll be viewing through what you provide. Now, on the flip side, this is also a really awesome service for you to be providing because it gives you continuity. You have each month or every 2 weeks or whatever schedule you've got set up, providing the same services, just going out to these waypoints, taking the photos, perhaps some videos, packaging those up however your client would like them, and sending them on over. If they're not being used for marketing purposes, this is so simple. It's really just you go out, you get the data, and you're going to very likely be talking to people with some sort of budget to allow for this sort of expenditure because it's more of an investment. It's saving time, hassle, improving safety. There are all kinds of angles that you can choose when you're talking to your clients to really let them see the benefit of this and the value. Now, this is sort of an emerging market. You know, there are definitely people who are getting a foothold in this, but I will just give a little heads up. There is also partly education. So as you're going out and talking to these project managers, construction business owners, etc., they're going to be learning about this as a service because it's newer. So kind of pros and cons here. Pro is you're new. You can be the first one in the door, right? You can be the one who's really establishing yourself as a drone person for this service in your area. Now, the con is, of course, it might take a little bit of time to get accepted because you're starting from, maybe a little, not quite at ground zero, but a little above, just educating about what the service is, what it entails, what the benefits are, showing them a sample. So my recommendation is, again, getting that foot in the door, do a couple free ones. When I've done some interviews with other drone pilots who have found success in this niche, that's what they've done. They've proactively done a free shot, often connecting first, right? You want them to know what you're doing and kind of have that on their radar, and then do this free shot, and then they see the value, and then they're going to sign up for the actual paid service. So I'm not saying go out and shoot every construction site in your area and hope that some of those turn into a paid job. Make those connections, get the go ahead, say, hey, I just want to show you how this could benefit you. Is that cool if I just do a quick shoot and show you the results, and then follow up and see what happens? And then post it below because I'd love to see your results from this strategy. Now, if you have questions on how to find these different clients, there's really 2 ways. There is, of course, outreach and then inbound. So outbound, inbound. Of course, our holy grail is going to be inbound, right? We want your phone ringing with people who are ready to pay you what you're worth for the exact services you want to be providing and are ready to pay you that full price right now. That might take a minute. So very likely you're going to need to start with outbound. Now, I'll have some other videos here that will really help you with Google My Business, with creating a prospecting pipeline, and also with using LinkedIn for lead generation. So take a look for those other videos if you have any questions about those, about just finding who you're wanting to talk to. Number 2 is the agricultural revolution. More and more drones are being used in agriculture, and this can be a huge opportunity because you are providing value through a simple service, whether that is looking at crop quality, taking some different estimates. So how can drones be used in agriculture and precision farming? Let me share some different examples with you. One is just crop monitoring and health assessment. Farmers can use what you share with them to look for areas where perhaps growth is hindered. Maybe there's an insect outbreak or some other kind of plant disease, so they can look for signs of trouble early on. There's even something called multispectral imaging, where with special sensors, drones can capture really specific images and analyze plant health through NVDI, which stands for Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. And this shows how well crops are photosynthesizing. That's pretty incredible. For precision agriculture, drones can be used to target specific areas in a field, whether that's for fertilizer, pesticides, etc., saving resources, reducing runoff, really just targeting the areas that need to be targeted, which can also be really beneficial for costs. That service could pay for itself. And next we have irrigation management, where drones with thermal sensors can look for dry patches. And that way farmers can optimize their irrigation systems so that everybody gets enough water. There's livestock monitoring, where you can use drones to look over huge herds of cattle or whatnot. Basically, you could be a virtual shepherd or an airborne shepherd. Then there's planting seeds, weed detection, disaster assessment, where drones can be used to look for different areas of damage, even over acres and acres of land, and allow farmers to apply for insurance claims or know where they need to start as far as repairs and rebuilding go. There's even yield prediction, where drones can analyze crop conditions and growth trends to kind of predict when things are going to be ready to go to market and maximize the efficiency of the harvest. Next, let's talk about infrastructure inspections. Drones have revolutionized infrastructure inspections by being more cost efficient and faster than traditional methods. For example, with facade inspections, instead of a building owner or management company having to pay for scaffolding to haul people up the side of a building and physically look at the siding, you can just have a drone that can quickly fly it, do a detailed analysis, and spit out a report that shows trouble areas. So bridges, towers, pipelines, there are all kinds of different applications for infrastructure inspection. So the facade example would go under aerial inspections and survey. So with different things like thermal roof inspections, etc. Bridge inspections, drones can absolutely be invaluable because they can be looking at the supports, the underbelly, all the bird nests, check on the baby chick status. And you're doing all that without having to drop people on ropes to physically look under the bridge. It's really kind of magical. And you throw in some infrared and you're looking for cracks, delamination, or other structural issues that would be invisible to the naked eye. Next, we have power line and utility inspections. Utility companies can use drones to look at lines, cell towers, different structures like that without risking the lives of linemen having to climb these tall structures, having to cut power, or take on other risks. And drones equipped with thermal imaging sensors can look for areas of overheating or other things that are going awry. Pipeline monitoring, drones can fly along looking for any cracks or corrosion, areas of leaks or problems. And again, that's just a lot faster than somebody having to truck along and do it step by step. Same goes for road and highway inspections, solar farm and wind farm inspections, and data collection for asset management. So the benefits are essentially, in a nutshell, that you have safety, efficiency, cost effectiveness, accuracy, and accessibility. I mean, those are really powerful things that the drones can bring to the table and really great selling points. Next, we have luxury estate domination. Now, this is a really fun niche because, although real estate's kind of a weird land right now, that means that there's actually a little bit more opportunity because the more compelling, more interesting, more well displayed a property is, the more eyeballs are on that and the higher the chance that one of those sets of eyeballs is going to turn into a buyer. So when you're learning and getting out there and specializing in luxury estates, you can become the go-to person for that. And that's where also the higher ticket productions and packages can come into play, because if there's a multi-million-dollar house on the market, they're going to be willing to pay for what it takes to sell it. This is where you can definitely get cinematic, creating marketing videos, and also first-person view. So if you've got the skills and interests to zip around inside of a home and really create a virtual tour that way, people love that. So that would definitely be a cool niche to get into if that was something that was kind of in your wheelhouse of interest. Now, definitely make sure you know how to avoid collisions, especially with expensive chandeliers or artwork, furniture, and also have your insurance in place. And of course, that's true for all of those. Just a little reminder. So the takeaway here is specialization. This is the biggest mistake I see new drone pilots make, is trying to be everything to everyone. But the more you can niche down, the more you can become that person, the higher prices you can command, and the closer you're going to get to that inbound mecca where people are calling you, ready to pay you what you're worth, ready to book your services. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of proof or some numbers about how these actually pencil out, and again, just the incredible value that you can be bringing to your potential clients, let's look at some side-by-sides. So if we go back to the construction site monitoring, if it was a traditional site inspector, they'd be having to take the time to go back and forth to the site, to take those photos, process them, get all that information ready to go. So depending on their hourly fee, which could easily be $150 an hour, the travel time etc., this could be a couple $1,000s plus a week just to get these measurements of the site. Versus with a drone, you can deliver comprehensive site mapping, 3D progress, images, progression, safety reports for the same or less price, plus the added convenience. I saw an example in a forum the other week where somebody got a message from a client, a construction monitoring client, that said, your drone service saved us 22 hours of manual inspection time and caught a potential safety issue. And that potential safety issue could have cost $50,000 later to fix. So again, definitely worth that upfront investment to get these results. Going back to the luxury real estate, adding that extra flair can make the realtor client really stand out in their crowded market to attract future clients. You can create these really beautiful packages that are going to wow their clients as well as potential buyers. And if paying you a couple $1,000s for a package that helps move a property and results in a couple $1 million, again, because we're talking luxury here, that is going to absolutely be worth it for that agent to get that commission. And I've had that experience myself, not with the luxury side of things, but where I went through and did my Zillow method, which is basically looking on Zillow, finding the properties that have been listed for a long time and have really crappy shots, calling that realtor and saying, hey, I'll be in that area next week. I'd love to, I'll be doing a shoot of another home for sale. I'd love to shoot yours as well if you're interested. That's a really low pressure way to kind of get your foot in the door. If you're already going to be in the area and you're offering to add on a service that probably they're already thinking about, right? If their property's been sitting there for a couple months, they're probably starting to get heat from their client. They're starting to get tired of it and they're ready to put some money in their pocket from the commission. So this was an empty, just a wooded lot, essentially. They kind of did this and then this. And when I did the drone, it made it apparent how beautiful it was. Instead of a street view of some trees and then you don't really see anything, I was able to go through the trees and then you could see the view, which you wouldn't really be able to do on foot because it was pretty dense and kind of treacherous, frankly. I mean, I was halfway sure I was going to lose my drone, but I didn't. So that's just something where adding that extra, this unique angle is really compelling. And that property ended up selling within the month. And I like to think it was because of me. With the agricultural services, just think of if their drone caught a broken pipe somewhere, that could easily save thousands of dollars between water costs and crops dying. There are all kinds of those little things that can very quickly make your services more than pay for themselves. And of course, with the infrastructure inspection, there's a lot at stake there, right? So if your inspection can show a defect in a bridge or a power line or a place where the roof is leaking on a commercial building, you're a hero. So again, the $1 million secret here is pick one of these niches, master it, become the person, and then start collecting the cash. So Xnay on the Jack of all trades, yay. Success comes from focus. Now, if you don't mind doing me a favor, please pause the video right now and comment below which of these 4 niches excites you the most. What do you want to become known for in your area? I'll be sharing specific strategies for each one in future videos. Now, let's talk a little bit about your equipment. This section could easily save you $20,000 in expensive mistakes. Most drone pilots get this completely wrong. They buy the most expensive equipment thinking it'll pay off or thinking that it'll guarantee success. But what's more important is actually to just start with baby steps. Start getting success with what you have now. And then if you see there is a market or you have the interest or desire or bandwidth to serve other things, then you take the step. So my recommendation would be to start with the very best drone you can afford as far as getting images, which can still be done for somewhere around $1,000 or more. It doesn't take much to just get started. And then wait until you buy the thermal drone. Unless you know right off the bat, you've identified that very strongly, you know that's what you want to do and that's what you want to focus on, that would be my recommendation. But I got started with a Mavic Mini too. And I did luxury real estate, I did regular real estate, I did marketing and promotional videos, and nobody ever said anything about the fact that it was just a little guy because it got the job done. And don't forget to consider other costs. Earlier in this video, I mentioned insurance. So you also have insurance, but don't forget other costs. You have insurance and legal costs. You had to pay to pass the Part 107, probably some study as well as test registration. You definitely want to have insurance for your drone, liability insurance and whatnot. Perhaps you add some legal costs with starting or forming your LLC, although that can be done pretty much for free online. And also buying extra batteries and all the different things that you need to really get started as a business. That may also include things like Adobe Premiere Pro or whatever editing software you prefer. But if we add all of that together, we can easily get started for less than $3,000. So don't let anyone tell you you need more than that. Now let's talk about client management, right? right? Because you can do all the prospecting you want, but if you're not following up, you're not going to probably get any results. In today's very busy and distracting world, it takes quite a few touches to actually get people's attention. So just bear that in mind. If you don't hear back, that's not a rejection. Maybe they were in the middle of putting out a fire, whether, figuratively or literally, right? Or we're picking up their kids when they saw your email and they forgot about it, or they had something else going on, or they didn't need you right at that moment. But if you're staying consistent, following up, staying top of mind, and providing value, just whether that's examples of past jobs you've done, examples of these cost savings or efficiency savings or safety savings, all these different points you can hit on, then when they are ready for your services, they're going to be thinking of you. And I've got a solution for you with the client management. I have a specialized, what's called a snapshot. So if you'd like to very quickly get started with client management with preloaded templates, email drips, newsletters, social media images, etc., check it out below. You can sign up for a free trial and see what it's all about and see if it makes sense for your business. Now, if you're just chomping at the bit to get that thermal camera, I recommend something called the 10 jobs rule. So book those first 10 jobs with just your basic gear, then look at what is, the return on investment. Where are your profits? And then you can invest 30% of those profits towards upgrading. That can keep things really more manageable, right? You'll be able to cover your operating expenses, taxes, keep your prospecting going, keep fulfilling jobs comfortably while also investing in growing the business for the future. But again, what not to do is don't go out and buy the Inspire 3 for $16,000 before you've booked a single client. Don't get every premium accessory just in case. And don't pay for premium software when you have no clients. The more you can bootstrap this, the more you're going to be able to grow comfortably. And when you don't have that pressure, it's going to actually make it easier for you to get clients. I recently heard of a drone company in Denver that invested $40,000 in drone equipment without having clients, and they actually went out of business within 90 days. So it can happen that fast. But with a little bit of planning, a little bit of preparation, a little bit of knowing what you're going to be the specialist in, you can actually grow and guarantee success because you're taking it step by step. You got to walk before you can run. So again, if I can ask a quick favor, if you don't mind pausing the video and commenting below, what equipment do you have now? And what's next on your list? But of course, gear means nothing without clients. In my next video, I'm going to show you my exact client getting checklist and process through LinkedIn and really making it your LinkedIn lead machine. So stay tuned and I'll see you there. And if you're looking for the quick start way to get rolling with this business plan that we've been talking about, check below here for a checklist. It's a simple download and it'll show you step by step and piece by piece what I recommend for starting your drone business. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe because again, I need those friends. Thanks so much and I hope you get time to fly today.